Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So we have positive news. It's just Jerome Powell talking up markets, talking about that this inflation is going to moderate. So markets like that big talk, and we're looking at Nasdaq futures right now. It's up 0.66% in the pre-market, up 100 points, and we're watching markets rally once again. Not necessarily rally, but go back up. We're watching a Dow Jones coming back up. So markets definitely like that talk. Let me pull the article here that I posted. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, I post often on Twitter as well. So after 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 the live stream, you can continue to follow some of my market insight via Twitter. So I just posted this pre-market. Powell comes in talking up markets. Let's see if the markets continue to rally. All kinds of choppy news in the last 24 hours. So Powell says the Fed is still ways off from altering policy. Expects inflation to moderate. So that's extremely bullish news there. But we're going to have to wait and see what the markets do. Also, 9 hours ago, I posted this. I was just looking at some options activity. Options put to call ratio for today's expiration and Friday's expiration, which is 2 days, on the Qs is heavily shorted. Here, 2.52, that's extremely high, and 2.42, that's extremely high. So that is extremely bearish. But I believe this is probably just protection or people afraid of that inflation. This is probably an inflation hedge. And in a classic market or casino style, what do you get? You get double zeros for all the people shorting here, and markets are squeezing higher. Now, this could be short lived, or this could be market squeezing all these shorts that are shorting today and shorting from now and Friday. So it's going to be interesting to know to see what happens here. So that's the latest. Now we have positive news. So we have a roller coaster here of negative to more negative news to now positive news in classic market fashion style. All kinds of chop. Also, this was yesterday after the market closed. 3.5 trillion tax plan, possible bullish catalyst for today's market. The Senate Democrats agree to 3.5 trillion tax spending plan without the okay of the Republicans. So this is still in the works. This is Biden's 3.5 trillion dollar tax plan, spending plan, and this could potentially be another positive catalyst. So we have potential positive catalysts there coming out from the markets. I found some negative numbers here for the Nasdaq, and then we have some positive news today. So a lot of mixed signals here. We have Alibaba here trending also up pre-market $6.49. We have to see what that catalyst is. Let me pull up potential catalyst news there. I don't immediately see some news. Long River Investments, Alibaba will benefit from the rise of Chinese consumer. Okay, that's kind of more of a statement. Not sure why it's up. I don't see some immediate news. Apple is one that I've been talking about here. We see August call buying at the 150 strike, and look at this. They started buying the 150s when it was trading around 140, 141. And look at this beast. We saw Apple with some positive news yesterday as well. What was the positive news here? Let me pull it up here. Apple is reportedly asking its suppliers to increase production of its next iPhone by 20%, according to Bloomberg. Apple has maintained a production level of 75 million iPhones, but is now seeking as many as 90 million of its new iPhones from suppliers. So huge projection out of Apple, bullish catalyst, more sales. So we have a few catalysts going on here for the day. Another one that is trending here, American Airlines bouncing here almost $1, 4.7%. Good morning, PR. Good morning, Ivan. Yes, another one that is trending is Excella. Excella is up once again pre-market, 76 cents. I did not see SGOC. Let's take a look at SGOC. SGOC getting a bump here, currently up $2.42. So we are seeing some action here. Good morning, Mark. Good morning. So some of the top action here from the large caps are Alibaba, we're seeing Apple, and American Airlines. Excella here from the smaller cap, more momentum stocks getting some action. We also saw some positive uptick here on Citibank. Citibank, positive earnings for Citibank. We're 2 minutes away from the market open here. NVDA also getting a slight bump. It's up right now pre-market $4.50, and level 2 not looking too fantastic. So let's just wait and see. Let's see Baba's level 2 here. Baba looking more bullish, that's for sure. And Citibank. Some American Airlines here. American Airlines also looking bullish. Hope Sundial moves today. Absolutely. That's a long-term hold I have, actually. It's a spec play that I have. I have long-term options here on Sundial. So it is up pre-market. So we did see a bump yesterday. Got rejected on the 10-day moving average there on the dailies. And let's see if it goes back up for round 2. So we're seeing Sundial with a nice uptick here. And Apple here pulling back. Huge move out of Apple. And Apple continues to rip higher and staggering higher. We had the August 150s bought up. And these guys are making some nice money with this big momentum out of Apple. And we're back to bullish territory. We have a gap up here in the markets, a slight pullback in the first minute, and now we're getting that momentum higher. If we look at NASDAQ futures, are already going towards all-time highs. It just seems like this market never ends. We've been getting a lot of choppy news, and it's just very difficult to play with only a handful of names here making some serious moves. It's a needle in a haystack kind of market right now. I am seeing here on this watch list a mixed bag. We are seeing some green there. I did open up a options position on this for August that I'm extremely upset about not working out on Discovery. It's not like a huge loser in comparison to my account, but it's one that I really dislike. Because this is typically a stock I wouldn't buy, so I'm really unhappy with this position. I'm at the point of no return where I lost most of it. So it leads me to no other choice to other than a hold. Powell says the Fed will not yet alter easy policy. So the party continues. The party continues. Powell there reinforcing his statements. The cheap money will continue, and markets seem to like it, obviously. This is positive news for the markets. I had a huge red day yesterday. Was not good for my account. Monday, I made about, I believe, here, let me pull it up, more or less around 11-12% on my account. And then yesterday, I just gave it all up. So extremely brutal day for me yesterday. Wild 2 days. I'm having, again, $11,000-$12,000 swings. And it's pretty hard, pretty difficult to stomach, I will say. I'm really not liking this out of NVDA. I don't think it has momentum to push today. We are seeing here, once again, the sell side here muscling the buy side. So they continue to hammer down NVIDIA day after day. Level 2 has been looking the same for NVIDIA. And doesn't look like NVIDIA is going to have a nice day today. It continues to get monkeyed, hammered down. Not good. DRV. This is a real estate bear 3 times ETF. So this is short the market. If you want to go short the market here, you go with DRV. I no longer do these kind of plays. These are really tough plays. I've gotten lucky once out of like 100 times. So if you think the housing market is going to collapse within the next few weeks, then yeah, DRV could be a play there. If this thing doesn't tank within the next few weeks, it will go lower. Also, just caution there if you are into DRV. Right now it's trading at 496. This stock can easily have a reverse split. So if you're playing the options game on stuff like DRV, I don't even know if they have options. It will wipe out the options market if they do a reverse split. So just cautious there. Word of caution on this. It's at a level where, yeah, it does have options. I wouldn't touch this. I would not touch this. These are the levels where the market likes to wipe out double zero. It's a casino, and wipe out the options market and do a reverse split. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a reverse split out of this within a month or two. And I think they're going to keep NVIDIA down again. NVIDIA might trade between $8 and $8.15 for the day. I don't think NVIDIA is going to move any higher. It's hammered another day, and it's taking a toll on my options. As long as it stays above $800, I will be a happy camper. So just based on this open, I'm just going to make an assumption here on NVIDIA. I don't like the level 2. I don't like the action. And I think it's going to be a brutal week here. It looks like they're going to hold the options for the whole week. We're already on Wednesday, and they continue to maintain NVIDIA under $820. I would like to see a shift here, but not probable here. Virgin Galactic continues to sell off. Let's take a look here at Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic here down 76 cents. Nothing too special here. Currently trading at $37. So we are seeing right now, we're seeing crypto selling off. So potential play there with Coinbase right now, scoop up a position. Ride also pulling back here, currently trading at 30. And let's take a look at Mara as well here at $26. So if you're a believer of crypto right now, it's pretty enticing for a longer term position right now to add into. Definitely crypto is selling off, and potential play there. Potential play. We are seeing here volume slightly dying out. Red volume candles here. 97,000 shares traded in NVIDIA in the last 5 minutes. In the last 10 minutes, we had 193,000 shares traded, and we are seeing NVIDIA selling off here. It's going to be a snooze fest here for NVIDIA. AMC here breaking below 40. This is horrible for AMC. Also, the new numbers of the short interest is dying out. So now we're having the shorts covering here and possibly making some money here. So this is not good for NVIDIA. I mean, for AMC. And let me take a look here if I can pull some numbers. This was oh, well, this was yesterday's number. I need to look for today's number. Let me see if I can pull. So yesterday, it was 15% of free float on AMC here from 18 to 15. So we're seeing the shorts covering there on AMC. So potential momentum dying out for the short term on AMC, which is not good. I'm getting here short interest percentage of free float at 15%. So that means they are making some money here on this down move. They are covering, and we are seeing the short interest go down here. That is not good. There's like no support here. Yes, after the 40 mark, it starts getting dangerous. You can still get a fake out and come back above. But it's a little tough. Let's look at level 2 here on AMC. You are seeing some support here at the around $36 mark and $35 mark. But we're going to have to wait and see. So right now we're at 15% on AMC, 15.10% there. AMC, short interest of free float. We're seeing some support coming in here at around 35.70. That's about a dollar away here. So some of the notable stocks that had earnings today pre-market was Bank of America, positive earnings, a surprise of 26 cents. So this might stabilize and come back up in the near term. Today we also had Wells Fargo. So we're having positive earnings here across the bank sector, 40 cents, a surprise of 40 cents, which is huge. But we're not getting much of a run here, but positive news. Citigroup, another one that had earnings, surprise, 88 cents. Huge numbers there. Surprise almost of a 50% increase on earnings. And we are seeing banks benefiting from maybe this inflation scare here and getting huge numbers there printed across the board. Now we just need to see that transcend into the markets, which we are here. S&P 500 all-time highs, staggering up there. Once again, we hit all-time highs with a slight pullback. Nasdaq here didn't go to as high as yesterday's highs, but making moves. Dow Jones looking good, also climbing higher, and Russell 2000 being the lagger here, trying to come back up. We have the VIX once again below 1650. We are seeing AMC here getting some uptick. Support level 3570. So now we're at 37. So positive here for AMC. NVDA here trying to reverse here after this big sell-off. Level 2 not looking too fantastic. And I don't think it's going to have that momentum unless we see a shift here on level 2. We do see some support at 800. I want to see NVIDIA stay above 800. So Lucid Motors now 24.96. Lucid Motors 24.96. Let's take a look at NEO. Another one that we've been looking at. Rejected here out of the $46 price target. This market is tough, guys. This market is very tough. I personally don't have a position here on NEO, but I do follow it. I do like the name. I do like the company. Here, support here at 46 and struggled to hold. You can see here the battle. You can see the battle here on NEO. Broke below the $46 level, came back up, and tried to hold above the $46 level for 3 days. And today is not looking good. On all 3 days here, all open above the $46 level, but today didn't. So a little bearish signal. It could come back up and come back higher, so it could be a fake out, but I'm having a difficult time. CCIV also will be changing its ticker to LCID here in about 9 days. Positive news there, solidifying the definitive agreement and becoming official into the markets. And we did see a nice attempt to rally. Did go up to around $30, which is great. And now pulling back 25. So it's becoming a little difficult here. We saw some action on the options market. On the weeklies, we saw 15s print. Heavy open interest on the 15 strike. And I wasn't sure if they bought them or sold them. And now I'm thinking it was a well-doing covered calls. Definitely don't have any hope for Wish to hit 15 this week. I did open a position. Longer term there. Position that I opened on Wish. And the action is not reflecting that $15 price target. So I'm thinking it was a covered call there. People selling the 15s there and making money off the premium. You have NEO calls for this Friday. Yeah, not looking good. Not looking good. It is difficult when you see the indexes here. S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, basically all-time highs, and the stocks that we are handpicking here not going higher. So we're not getting that appreciation and that momentum of the overall market. It's only a handful of stocks. It's only a handful of stocks staggering higher every day. Google again, all-time highs, flying under the radar. No one is talking about it. It's super expensive. But then you wonder, why is the market higher? You have Google up, all-time highs every day. Let's see Amazon. Amazon's struggling, actually. I mean, we did have a nice rally here, but just consolidating here at these levels. And then you have stocks like Apple here, making huge moves, making 1 to 2% moves every day to the green side. What else is another ticker here that is leading the markets higher? And it's weird. You go across and you're not seeing every stock making big moves, and markets continue to go higher. Extremely difficult market to trade. We have Disney now struggling this morning. Disney having some big momentum there. They're upping their subscription for ESPN members, I believe, and huge uptick. I guess they like the news, and then it's done a whole lot of nothing in the past 2 days. So no follow through. We are seeing sporadic burst in the markets, and then no follow through. Extremely tough. Good news is the VIX is below 1650, and as long as we stay below 1650 in the short term is good. So now we have Ethereum breaking the $2,000 level here. And I actually feel like trading something like this right now. Ethereum just broke 2,000. So it hit a low of 1,865. And now it looks like it's doing a shift here in momentum. We have Dogecoin above 20 cents. We have Ethereum above 2,000. Litecoin at 131 and Bitcoin at 32,000. I'll leave things as is. Was going to pull some triggers here. Going to stand by here. So we did see some support here out of NVDA at around, what is this, the $805 mark. Big green volume of support there for that reversal. Will it be enough? Who knows? Level 2, not likely. It looks like they're going to hammer it down. They're not letting this one go. So not feeling optimistic for NVIDIA for today. Unless we see a shift in momentum, which does happen. I have seen. But this has been level 2 for NVIDIA for the past like 5 days. And it's gone absolutely nowhere. It's just consolidating. So, no, not optimistic today for NVIDIA. We're just going to have to wait and see. And I think it stays within this range. Apple, here's some resistance at 149 and 150. Unbelievable. Apple was the play. Um, they were buying the 150s at the $140 mark, 141, $7 later, 5 days later, and here we are going towards 150. And that was a massive trade there. That was a nice trade there. I did miss it, but it was one that I was eyeing. It is just difficult to go long once you're at all-time highs trading at 141, 142, and then to buy the 150. It's very difficult to do, but we did break out from all-time highs, and so that did trigger a bullish signal there, and Apple continues to go higher. Nearly 17% growth in Apple in a month. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. 17%. That's not uncommon. 17% growth is, you see that every day, all the time on different stocks. But Apple is the largest company, so a 17% increase is the largest company in the stock market. A 17% increase is a massive, massive move. That's a big move out of Apple there. We're having massive numbers here printing for Apple here. We have a put to call ratio 147,000 puts to 672,000 calls. Massive, massive numbers. 3.6 million shares traded already. Apple calls is the play. It's been Apple calls. Big numbers printing here for Apple calls. No one is trading anything else. Everybody's buying Apple calls. The whole market is staggering higher because people are only buying Apple. It's Apple market. We do see, yeah, there must be a pullback. We do see some resistance at 149 and 150. So maybe around the 150 mark, we'll see a pullback for a few days and possibly rip higher the next few weeks.
2020 levels. Peloton getting downgraded to neutral from outperform at Wedbush. That stock is down more than 20% year to date. And we'll end with Lululemon getting a boost from Goldman, initiating coverage with a buy rating, saying that post-COVID recovery period has been favorable for apparel and strong brands. We can assume spandex is in there as well, David.
Thanks, Leslie. Well, it is also day 2 of bank earnings. This morning we have Citi, Bank of America, Wells Fargo all reporting. Our Wilfred Frost has them all for us. Wilf.
David, good to see you. Bank of America is trading low, in fact, extending its losses. Revenues slightly missed estimates. EPS did beat, but was flattered by a one-off tax benefit. Investors were instead focusing on expenses, $15 billion compared to a forecast for $14.1 billion. Although CEO Brian Moynihan made clear on the call that it was a one-off and in part due to a $500 million charitable donation. Net interest margin did disappoint as well. Loans, though, did pick up by the end of the quarter. That meant that they were confident that net interest income had indeed bottomed already, despite disappointing this quarter. Here's CEO Brian Moynihan.
On NII, the good news is that we correctly called a bottom 3 quarters ago. We told you then that we thought the third quarter of 2020 would be the trough. Despite the volatility and lower rate moves and significant decline in loans, we've been able to hold NII at that level or more for 3 straight quarters. We expect it to move higher.
Wells Fargo and Citi performed better on the net interest margin and indeed on expenses too, both stocks trading higher. Wells Fargo's top line was well ahead of expectations due to outsized venture capital gains. Both Citi and Bank of America showed similar trends when it came to capital markets, strong investment banking, declining fixed income trading by around about 40%. That was expected, though. And strong equity trading both stood out relative to yesterday's reporting banks. They were up about 30% or so year over year in equity trading. Bodes well for Morgan Stanley tomorrow. The Citi call is just kicking off. Bank of America continues and Wells Fargo starts in about 90 minutes time. We'll have Brian Moynihan and Mike Santomassimo on Closing Bell later today, guys.
Wilf, there it is. Yeah, good lineup for you. You and I were talking about the incredible deposit growth that many of these institutions have seen over the last year, which is reflective of increased savings by U.S. consumers. What as well, though, are we hearing on the other side in terms of expectations for them being able to make more loans as the economy continues to grow at a faster clip?
Well, see, on that point, and it's similar to yesterday with JP Morgan, but was very clear from Bank of America, was that they were trying to point people towards end-of-quarter loans as opposed to average across the quarter. And in the final month, things did really pick up significantly, and they said continue in July. And that's partly why they're able to maintain their NII guidance, net interest income, even if net interest margin, because of the falling yield curve, has disappointed slightly. So I'd say the tone relative to the numbers we got actually relatively encouraging on that point, though for Bank of America itself is not doing enough to help the share price today because of a couple of the other factors. Either way, on the headline about the economy, same yesterday and today so far from the one call that we've been listening to, very, very confident that the economy is firing on all cylinders, that balance sheets for consumers and for corporations is strong. So if you're not seeing quite as much credit extended, it's because of a strong economy, not because of a very, very weak economy and people trying to deleverage.
Right.
Some information there about the banks and their earnings. Let's take a look at Apple here. We're just $1 away from about $1.20 away from that huge 150 resistance there for Apple. So we're going to have to wait and see if it does have that momentum. We've been seeing great volume there out of Apple on the options activity for the past few days, few weeks, and it continues to go up. So we have here, let's see. Tech investors are watching the shares of Velodyne LiDAR, VLDR, this morning after a company agreed to integrate its infrastructure solution with NVDA. Metropolis program. The VLDR stock price was up more than 3% at the market open. So some news there has to do with LiDAR and NVDA. So this is a LiDAR company here, VLDR, currently trading at 966. This company at all-time highs hit around $32 and absolutely trading at a discount here from a technical point of view. Didn't get much of an aggressive bid there, but positive news there for VLDR. Possible play for a long-term swing trade. Apple here steady at 148. Here hit a low of 147, 89, and right now just trading within a dollar range. We are seeing volume slightly dying out, and we do see this line of resistance at the 150 mark here. So this is Ethereum here. Ethereum, interesting place here. We see here some support around the $1,800 mark here for Ethereum. Currently at 211 there. So Apple here holding steady and strong. We're not seeing much of a move out of it, but just holding up there in no man's land at 148, dangling by itself with no technicals to base it off of at this area. So we did see some big support out of NVIDIA here, showing us a potential reversal. It was at 805 and we're at 809. $4 reversal off that signal there. Nothing substantial here, nothing great. And we do see heavy sell side. So hammering NVIDIA down. This stock is not going to move. Ryan, am I confident it'll push higher after the split? I think typically you see a sell-off once they split. It could be a big sell-off. It could be a moderate sell-off. So I'm just going to, after the split, I'm going to cool off on NVIDIA. I'm still trading it. I'm going to continue to trade it up until the last day. After the split, I'm going to cool off. I'm going to hit the brakes a little bit. I'm going to close my positions. I have contracts for this week and next week, and I'm gonna let it develop and see if it gives me another entry to go long. I'm gonna look for a pullback, and if it continues to rally, so be it. I already traded a lot of the momentum building up to the split, so I'm gonna play it safe, and I'm not gonna have any opens positions going into the split. I'm gonna most likely sell most of my positions Friday, which is in 2 days, or Monday of next week. So I might sell half of it this week. Well, some of my contracts are gonna expire this week, so I'll probably be closing half of it by default this week, and I'll close the rest on Monday. That's kind of my strategy right now, and just waiting to see what it does after the split. And once that split happens, if there's another entry or opportunity, I will come in here lightly. Yeah, gonna see what happens. I already traded a lot of the momentum, so if it does go higher after the split and I miss a rally, I might leave a runner. I might leave one contract open out there, just one, to leave a runner. Just in case, I guess. But NVIDIA's been gruesome. They hammered it. They hammered it, and it's going to stay below 820. Level 2's been looking the same the past 5 days. No potential here of a momentum shift to climb higher. Every morning I come in here, I check level 2, and I don't see anything worth seeing it run up. But again, this level 2 changes day to day. It also changes intraday. You can see a complete 180 shift here today. But I've been seeing this consistent level 2, which is showing strength to the downside. Not that it's going to sell off, but that they are holding it. So not optimistic it's running today. Not at all. If it does, it would be a huge surprise. But it's going to be a complete snooze fest. Especially because markets are at all-time highs, and it's not getting that momentum appreciation. Baba with a nice 2-day rally there. From actually, if we look at Wednesday's low, big move there, 198, 214, about a $20 move there. Nice move there out of Baba. We are seeing some November puts on IWM. We're seeing 160s here. So we are seeing some put buying there. 160 for November. Can I put some SGOC? Absolutely. All right, I'll throw that up right now. 1 second. Just charting this here. 160 puts there. IWM. Someone is expecting this to crash and burn. Okay, let's take a look at SGOC level 2. Nice, nice. Let's see here. Wow. Waking up again, SGOC. Nice. Big move here. Up $8. Great move there. We're seeing some resistance here at 1850 and 19. Last 5-minute candle here. We have 3.7 million shares traded. You can shave off in another 50 cents and shave off some more at 19. And we zoom out, big resistance at 20. So we're already at 18. This is a play, momentum play for the day. Once again, SGOC ramping up. But you do see here some huge resistance at the $20 level. This thing's a beast. It's moving in 50-cent increments. A lot of momentum behind it right now. And we're getting close here to the $19 and $20 level. Just based on this level too, it's going to be difficult to break that $20 level. So somewhere between now and the $20 level would be a good time to take some profits. I mean, it could go past 20, don't get me wrong, but just based on this information on level 2 here in the short term. Massive move here from the open at 980. So we're going to probably see an intraday 100% move here. Big out of SGOC, big move there. So now we're hitting the $19 level. So here again, big resistance at 20. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But definitely this would be an area where if I was in it, I would be considering taking in some profits. We did see here volume slightly die off, but we are pushing higher. So this next 5-minute candle, it should be coming on the next 4 minutes. Could be higher here. You see, now we're seeing a cool off. Now we're going down. Now we're at 1786. You see, it didn't even get close to 20. Well, it did in a sense, but so now it's cooling off. So now possibly momentum is dying here. but it's in the short term. It could be taking a breather here to try to ramp up again. You see, now we're down about $1 now. And we're seeing here a shift here. Now we see a wild resistance here at 1750. And things are shifting. And this could be short term. This could be short term. So now we're back down. We were at 19 practically here. And now we're back down to 1739. So now things are stabilizing here. So that momentum has died off for now. It could still work out and go higher, but here in the short term, that's pretty much where things ended. Things are stabilizing now. So we're going to have to wait and see how that pans out. Yeah, now it's down to, it's below 17. There you go. So the juice is dying out there out of SGOC for now. And Apple here gapping up, trading at 148. We did see some nice a gap up there, but holding steady, but not really moving anywhere. We are seeing the volume dying out. We do see some resistance there, also out of Apple. So it's not much going on here. Tough, tough, tough. I'm sure we're going to get some sporadic bursts out of some of these individual names throughout the day. With some nice runs. Nokia continues to go higher. We did see a nice gap up yesterday, and we're seeing a bit of a follow through here. Sundial here looks like it wants to turn a momentum shift here to a bullish side. It looks like it's kind of bottoming them out here. It needs a few more weeks before it goes higher. AMC here looking extremely brutal. Now we're down to 35, 63 here on AMC. And we did see some of the short float there, short interest go down as well. So not looking good here for AMC. Let's take a look at GameStop. GameStop also cooling off, not as aggressively, but we are seeing a slow downtrend here and a slow bleed. This is killer. This is killer here, this slow bleed. This is very apparent. This is a strong downside move there. What is going on with Donut? We saw some insider buying there out of Donut. So Donut, we saw some insider buying last week. 200 million, was it $100 million worth of shares out of Krispy Kreme there. It rallied to 20, and it came back and gave up some of those gains. But this is all short term. These guys buying $100 million worth of share is the long term. So we're here 1 hour into the open, and we are seeing markets across inching higher, but very selective stocks there. I'll be right back. This Napoleon Dynamite music is perfect. At least a little music, so when I'm not around. Okay, we have VIX here, 1648. What is going on here? So Li Auto here, 3120 out of Li Auto, Chinese EV stocks. Neil, 44. Xpeng. Oh. Xpeng here, another Chinese EV, 3876. So we're getting a pullback here. We're getting a pullback on EVs. CCIV selling off here, 24.35, breaking down the $25 mark there. Not so good for CCIV. Again, small caps and SPACs not doing well. We're seeing red again across the market here on some of our favorite stocks, but the market's again green here. The overall indexes, which is completely confusing. It's only a handful of stocks here getting some appreciation here. And the VIX below 1650. PaySafe comes back down to $11. We saw it 2 weeks ago with some nice bullish activity, some nice options activity out of PaySafe, and I did think it totally fooled me. I did think it was going to hold above my 10-day moving average, and it sold off, and it's back down to its normal trading range of $11. Oh yes, thank you for that, Mark. Yes. Yeah, the sound must have been very crappy. Sorry about that. The wrong setting was set here, so this should be a lot better. So as I was saying here, we saw bullish activity out of PaySafe. We saw here around this area when it gapped up, we saw bullish activity on the options. I did think we're going to stay above my 10-day moving average, and it came back down to its trading range of around $11. So all the smaller cap stocks and more high growth speculative stocks are taking one in the chin. They're all red. Look at this. Visa. That's where the action's at. Visa all-time highs ripping higher. MasterCard also getting some nice action there. Let's take a look at Visa here. Apple, it looks like it's going to ramp up to 150. It's hitting the $149 mark here, and it's going to be interesting. So that is where the action is at. Let's take a round of the Dow Jones. This is UNH, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, healthcare companies here at 417. We're seeing Goldman Sachs at 375. Home Depot, one that we talk about here, currently at 318. I'm holding above my 10-day moving average there, which has a bullish trend. Microsoft is another one here ripping higher. AMGN not doing much. CRM, Salesforce 242. And Salesforce, look at this chop. Good trading opportunities, but no breakout here. So very difficult to trade there, Salesforce. Visa here being a big winner today, leading the markets higher. Boeing doing a whole lot of nothing. McDonald's here popped its head here, going towards all-time highs and now aggressively pulling back. We're going to see if it gets a second wind towards the end of the day. Honeywell just trending higher slowly and a vertical uptrend. Caterpillar slightly selling off here. 3M slightly higher. So you have a mixed bag. It's not that easy. Wow, look at this Nike. You would think that was the end of the move there, and it continues higher. It's basically $10 higher from that gap up off that earnings. Massive move there. Nike, big winner there. IBM here being a lagger. Apple here, 149 out of Apple. Unbelievable. We're going to shatter 150 within a week or so. Guaranteed. I don't think we shatter 150 today, but unbelievable out of Apple. Basically, right now, sitting at a $2.5 trillion market cap company, being the biggest company in the stock market right now. We have Procter & Gamble here. Merck & Company at 77. Dow Inc. here at 62. Intel consolidating. Intel consolidating at these levels here at 56. We might see a turn on Intel in a few months. So potential level to build a position. Very difficult chart out of Intel here. Very difficult. Verizon here at 56. Coca-Cola getting a nice uptick today. Big move out of Coca-Cola. 60 cents. Big move for Coca-Cola. 1.1%. We have Cisco here consolidating, trading sideways for some time here. Since March. So Cisco trading within a range since March. And we have Walgreens here at 46. So you have a mixed bag out there. I just saw an alert for some bullish activity out of Qualcomm. It could be short-lived, or we could see follow through here. It did consolidate for some time. So when you have these kind of periods of consolidation, a big move is possible. So we did see, just got an alert, some bullish activity out of Qualcomm right now. It could be a play, or it could be nothing. So Visa being a clear winner here. Visa, big winner here. Visa. Adobe here inching higher, all-time highs, fighting. Adobe also being another big winner. Not as big as Visa, though. So we're seeing here out of Visa a $250 level resistance. Don't know if we get there today. Already made a pretty decent move. It's up right now 1.42%, which is pretty big here for Visa. And did they have a some sort of news catalyst? Let me look that up. I'm not sure if this is what's pushing Visa higher. Visa approves Australian startup to issue debit cards for spending Bitcoin. So not sure if that's why it's inching higher there, but that is the latest released 10 hours ago out of Visa. Potential price target here for Visa, 250. Pretty ambitious. It'll be very difficult. No, I don't think we get there today. I'll draw it in there for future reference. Apple 149. Apple going for that $150 level. Big move out of Apple. They've been buying the 150s, August 150s, since it was at 140. Big $10 move in about a week. What a complete monster. It seems like it's carrying the market in its shoulders. And Apple here, big moves out of Apple. Some names here that are popping up on my radar here. American Airlines. American Airlines getting some pop here. 2136. Support here for American Airlines around the $19.50 mark, $20 mark. And now at 2138. It's still not too late here to build a position there longer term for American Airlines, which is currently trading around $21. Not bad still. AMC pulling back. It hit a low of 34.25. This is extremely bearish for me here. I do have some options expiring this week. Not going to work out. And I'm not looking into getting any more. It could be a buy the dip situation, actually. But I'm no longer going to shoot my shot here. So now Apple 149.10. We're 90 cents away from it hitting that $150 level. And we're going to see if we see some reversal. Another name that's popping up here is Twitter. Twitter is trending here. Wow, what a beast. 71.95. I had some options here on Twitter, and I believe I sold them somewhere around here or here. And now we're inching higher. I wonder when I sold my Twitter options. I had a pretty nice, healthy position. And let's see here. Let's see, where did I sell my Twitter? Ah, that was a nice hold there. And I bought Twitter at a decent time. I sold July 1st. I sold somewhere around here. Ah, not too shabby. Not too shabby. I sold here. When did I buy these? June 17. Okay, that was a good trade. So I bought here. That was a great trade, and I can't complain. So let's say I bought somewhere here. And I sold somewhere here. That's a good move. But we are seeing now Twitter once again trending here. And we are seeing American Airlines trending at the moment and now pulling back. And Apple here 90 cents away from 150. 90 cents away. Let's take a look at DD. One anticipated stock here that IPO'd, got hammered on that China news, stripping it away from its ability to acquire new customers. Not sure where they stand now, but a nice trade there from the lows of around $11, now almost $13, $2 move there. And that could have been a potential buy the dip opportunity there for DD. Can potentially come back up to $16. That would be a $3 move there, and potential play there. Apple here staggering higher slowly on this not so hot volume, trading 800,000 shares in the last 5 minutes. Big volume at the open and just moderate volume, consistent though, and it's just pushing it slowly higher and higher. And just like that, Apple now creeping up, 10 cents about every so minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And now at 149.23. Seems like we're moving 1 cent per minute. WHLM. No, I'm not familiar with that. Wilhelmina International. I know this company. I work with this company. Wilhelmina here. It's a modeling agency here. Wilhelmina, big uptick. How much is this company worth here? Market cap, $44 million. They hire the hottest people in the world. A lot of models there. Modeling agency, Wilhelmina. I know this name. And 848 here. Let's take a look at level 2. Nice volume out of Wilhelmina here. 1 million shares traded in the last 5 minutes. Level 2, some resistance at $9. So 50 cents away. Let's see if we see some positive catalysts there. Who did they hire? Cindy Crawford? What's going on here with Wilhelmina? Do we have any news? Or are they just coming in here and buying it? Because that's the one they decided to buy. Is it heavily shorted? Let's do some research here. What's going on? Big move there out of Wilhelmina. Up 61%. Big move there. I don't see a lot of activity there on the short side. Nothing too dramatic. Not sure what is going on there. Just another day, another pump. And SGLC did cool off there. So my short-term call was correct there. It did run up all the way to $19. Right around the point where I was like, time to take some profits there. And sure enough, did cool off there. So that was a good call. Hope you locked in some profits there. Now Apple 149.45. It just goes up 1 minute at a time, 1 cent at a time per minute. So we're gonna have to wait and see here, Apple, to see if it breaks that $150 mark. Yes, you did. Awesome. Right on, PR. Awesome. Let's see what SGOC looks like right now. Could be another opportunity here. Could be another opportunity for SGOC here if it stabilizes around this area. I'll come back to it in a few minutes. This is a nice healthy pullback. Could be another opportunity here for a second. SGOC here, 66 million shares traded, average volume of 27. So already blown out the average volume. A lot of people are trading SGOC right now. NVIDIA monkey hammered. NVIDIA not going to go anywhere today. The bear said, not today, my friend. We see a huge shift here. No volume. No action here out of this NVIDIA today. Let's see some level 2 SGOC. This is more exciting at the moment. All right, already 50 cents up. From the moment I said possible second swing here.
To an earnings season, in which expectations are extremely high.
Hi, Deirdre. Good to be with you. Well, look, I mean, when Jeff Bezos is launching into space next week, maybe he can take a picture of the NASDAQ for us and bring it back. The index has been on a nonstop run. We're on the 9th week up. What's really interesting here is that, usually you would want to see an army along with the generals, but the generals are again completely on their own. The internals of the NASDAQ in particular have been getting weaker and weaker and weaker from high to high. Today, speaking just of the current market here, as the NASDAQ 100 hit 15,000, there were only 6 new highs, new lows, right? So the trends are intact on all of these. But when you look at the underlying volatility index of the NASDAQ, which is called VXN, it's actually building a very clean pattern. And surprisingly, on these last new highs, it has not made new lows. So this pattern is building, it continues to build. And to the extent that these big cap techs that are now reporting cannot sustain new highs, and they all have upside risks, I totally acknowledge that. But if they cannot sustain these new highs, and given their predominance in the indices, that may be setting up for a sizable reversal.
Right, and Sven, you're looking at this from a technical point of view, but from a fundamental point of view, you do note that valuations are extremely stretched. You note that they're higher than they were at the peak of the 2000 bubble. We talked to a lot of guests about this, and many of them argue that it's not the same. You've got more bulletproof balance sheets, better companies coming, better quality companies in terms of listings, massive cash piles, and those strong fundamentals. So what's that telling you?
Well, it better be different this time, right? Look, in May, Neil Kashkari, the head of the Minneapolis Fed, actually said something very interesting. He said, all my Wall Street friends are complaining that their trading models no longer work. You just mentioned the valuation. On a price to sales basis, tech is now over 7, which is higher than 2000. The S&P is over 3.2, which the general trend has been 1.5 to 2.0. It better be different this time because there's absolutely zero history of any of this being sustainable. And in terms of fundamentals, yes, we've just seen trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in artificial liquidity from the monetary and the fiscal side. There is a natural economy beyond this, and we don't know what that looks like. And it looks like if you're looking at general data coming in, there may be some peaking going on. So you're going to transition from a period of peak recovery growth to something more natural. And then you better have a story to back these valuations up. I mean, you can maintain this obviously during this liquidity phase. The question is what comes after.
Sven, I hear you, but I wonder what's the alternative? I mean, holding cash in an era of inflation seems foolhardy to a lot of people. Real estate is inflated. I mean, you name it. Everything seems inflated. So if you're not going to pile into these highly valued stocks, what do you do?
Well, that's a fair question. I mean, look, if you invested in these, obviously ride the trend higher. You know, there's really no reason to sell. But be aware, you know, that the change may come, and we may still have a sizable correction this year. Incidentally, you asked me where to go. I had that very same question from Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy the other day. He and I had a lengthy chat about the macroeconomic picture. He's obviously a big fan of Bitcoin. His answer is Bitcoin. I'm still waiting to see what the liquidity relationship is, because so far all assets are high and continue to be driven higher by liquidity. We have to yet see what the proper hedge is for this. My sense is, you know, everybody thinks cash is trash. Market cap to GDP being over 200% vis-a-vis GDP, I think there's always the opportunity to at least have some cash available when things change.
You know, Sven, there are still some, though, who argue that tightening has essentially already begun, that money supply growth is slowing down, and that the markets, although maybe not as dramatically as you might expect, are starting to price that in. You don't have to wait for Powell to spell this out for people. Do you think that makes sense? And if so, how would it relate to your fundamental view of tech?
Well, as long as yields don't rise, I think tech continues to be supported. I mean, we saw fascinating yesterday with the CPI report, and then obviously today with PPI. We haven't really seen a major move in the 10-year. In terms of the tightening, yeah, we see it actually across the globe, right? I mean, right now it's really the Fed and the ECB that keep printing full pedal to the metal. In terms of money supply, yes, it has dropped significantly in terms of the year-over-year growth, but it continues to sustain. And as we saw again today, you know, as soon as Powell approaches the podium, futures want to rally. Ultimately, again, you're ending up with a liquidity equation that's not repeatable in history. We are so far beyond what we've seen at any time in history. So this relative tightening process is going to go on for years. And of course, the Fed right now is on the path to try to delay this for as long as possible, despite increasingly voices saying they're overdoing it, as we see it, for example, in the housing market, with home prices continuing to rally, well, up 20% year over year almost. And at the same time, the housing unaffordable index dropping to its lowest ever. Yet the Fed keeps buying mortgage-backed securities at $40 billion a month. There's really no economic justification for it. And the question I raise increasingly is this driven by politics or is it driven by economics? And I don't see the answer being an economic one. As you saw with Steve Mnuchin this morning, he's urging Powell to stop, because the risk is that as you keep propagating an asset bubble and it ultimately pops for whatever reason, you are then bringing about a tightening larger than anyone wanted to see to start with.
Yeah, indeed. And we'll be waiting to see what Powell says about that in a little less than an hour. Finally, Sven, on antitrust, Goldman's got a nice note last night about tech and antitrust. They sort of draw some parallels to IBM and AT&T and Microsoft in the past. And they say that it took the shares a long time to fall between the lawsuit and resolution. Today, it's Facebook asking Lina Khan to recuse herself. Do you think we're entering a period where regulatory risk actually does matter to shares?
Yeah, on that note, it's interesting. So far, all these companies have ignored everything on that front, right? We saw it with the global tax deal. You would think that, you know, maybe pay more taxes would matter. Hasn't mattered so far. And regulatory, I think it's wait and see. I think there's currently not a sense that anything with teeth is actually coming. And that may change quickly, of course. But at this point, investors are, what do you say, sanguine in terms of anything that could go negative on the valuation equation. My concern generally is when a trigger hits, whatever that trigger may be, and you see these divergences in markets, and when you have extremely stretched charts, as we saw a number of times in the recent years, downside can come very quickly when it's least expected. Currently, we're not even in a phase where anyone can see a 2% dip lasting more than 60 minutes. So that's I think that's ultimately where these VIX charts or these volatility compression charts play in.
Well, Sven, we can't say that we have only bulls now. You gave us some good perspective from the other side. Thank you so much for being with us, Sven Hendrick of the Northman Trader.
Glad to be with you. Thank you.
Now, we mentioned it earlier. We've got some Windows news from Microsoft shifting the.
So that's the latest there out of Sven Heinrich. He has a very bearish outlook in the market. It's always interesting to hear. A lot of the things he does say, I do agree with. The only thing is, what do? You can't be short the market every day, and you're definitely going to lose. So very interesting. I like to hear his perspective. I like to hear all sides of the coin, and just to be a little bit more aware and try to be a little bit more cautious. So Apple here ramping up to 149.37, just a few cents away here from 150. Let's take a look at the dailies. And it will probably get there in about the next few days. Visa here, 245.60. Let's see what is going on here. See RTD here popping up here. Is it making a move? It did make somewhat of a move here, but not at 468. And Wilhelmina here still getting some action there. Bank of America selling off, although with positive earnings there and a nice surprise of 33%, it's still selling off. Let's take a look here. NVDA here flirting with the $800 support level here. NVIDIA, tough one here. It is my largest position. I'm also getting hit pretty hard here. This is my largest position right now. So let's take a look at level 2 here. It didn't look good. I have no hope for it for today. Big sell side, strong sell side, low volume here. I don't see a shift here. Not looking good. Not looking good. So here continues to sell off. Let's see. Broke the $800 of support. We didn't have any support, but that is like a mental area for NVIDIA for previous support levels here. So now it looks like it's going to sell off, possibly go to 790 and that was the lows of a few days ago. So the split is the 20th, which is Tuesday. So the change is Tuesday here. So we still have we still have 3 more days of potential momentum here for NVIDIA, but a big red day for it today. SGOC here, selling off now. Didn't hold that area of support, but did make a good move for the day. And now trading lower. So we do have the major indexes still holding here reasonably well, except for the Russell 2000. We did see here on the Russell 2000 IWM, we saw a put buyer there for, I believe, November. 160 puts there for IWM. Here, NVIDIA 798, potential support here at 790, continues to sell off, and it's not looking good. I don't see anything interesting here. I don't see any volume. I don't see any shift in momentum. So it's going to be a tough one for today. AMD seeing some unusual options activity there coming in for the August 80 calls. I'm sorry, AMD, not AMC. What's going on with AMC now that we're there? Not looking good for AMC. AMD, 89.90. They're buying the 80.50s. Also, they're buying the in the monies. We are also seeing some July call buying on DraftKings. Buying the July 23rd, 49.50s. So they're looking for a bounce trade here off of DraftKings. I'll draw in a support level here of 790. So we're going to have to wait and see here if it takes a breather or it continues lower. Disney here, slightly pulling back. We're seeing a lot of red here across some of these names here. Palantir at 2181. Tattoo Chef here holding its ground above $20. Vuzi here, one that Kathy Woods continues to buy. It's at 1526. Not too shabby. Some Facebook news here. Starting in August, Facebook will be offering Facebook Pay to businesses as a payment option. So Facebook jumping on the bandwagon, just like Apple Pay, crossing over a little bit into fintech here, and also Facebook trying to develop their crypto coin before, but got stopped there. And now some news out of Facebook, starting in August, will be offering Facebook Pay. VIX kind of picking up here, just slightly. We're seeing here indices pulling back, and yes, we're pulling back slightly here. SGOC there, momentum did die out, and it did sell off. It peaked around $19. Now it's down to $13. We're seeing here major support at $12 and $12.80 there. Good morning, Chris. Good morning. So yeah, we're seeing a pullback here. So it's going to be very interesting in the next few days. Just logged on. Falling knife or buy the dip. I'm just sitting on my hands. I'm not making any moves here. Not trading today. So it could be potentially, technically things look extremely scary. So I'm just going to give it some time here. I am sitting on some cash here. I'm not going to take my chances. I do have a few positions open, so I'm just going to hold on to what I have. I do sometimes miss these big opportunities. It could be a buy the dip opportunity on some of the smaller cap stocks, like the stuff that we like to trade here. CCIV here selling off, down 6% today, pretty aggressively. This could follow through here, but I'm not going to take any chances for now. We're seeing a lot of big names now trending here. Bank of America, American Airlines, Delta Airlines. Let's take a look at Delta Airlines. What's going on there? Selling off. We're having a sell-off here. We did get positive earnings there out of Bank of America. It's selling off. Positive earnings out of Citibank. We got positive earnings across the banking, but they are selling off. So things are heated here. Things are heated, and it looks like we're going to have a pullback. This could last intraday, or it can be several days. All right, guys, I'm going to call it here. Thank you for joining me. Another big red day today. Just as I get the big $10,000, $12,000 up days, I also get the $10,000, $12,000 down days. So markets are very difficult right now. I'm going to ride the storm. I'm just going to sit on my hands. I'm not buying any dips. I have a lot of exposure, and I'm not going to short the market either. So I am sitting some cash on hand. I'm not interested in partaking right now. So I will probably be sitting on my hands the next few days as well. So thank you guys for joining. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Check out my my Discord and Patreon. There is a lot of information there that gives you some perspective and your head ready coming into every day. I have 24/7 news running all day long with information about Jerome Powell, inflation, any unusual activity, and things to be looking out for. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for joining. Disney killing you today. Yeah, today it could be short term, or it could be a follow through into the next few days. Bad news is there's been a massive bull rally here. So a pullback is due technically. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but it could happen any day here. Or this can rally for another week or two. There's no telling with this market. It is insane, and it is extremely difficult. So just sitting on my hands for now, and don't plan on making any major moves. Just going to step on the sidelines for now. Thank you guys once again. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the first 2 hours of the market open, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys.